Well, hello everyone, and happy Wednesday. It is so great to see you again every Wednesday. It is so wonderful to see everybody who's here watching to see everything about spirit, learning everything about spirit. And I love just connecting with you all. And it's so much fun expressing our connection, expressing our joy and love of spirit. So today, as you may have seen with the details, what we're going to be doing is connecting all of our abilities to learn more about spirit. We're going to learn about how we can raise our vibration with spirit, specifically through clairaudience. So that's really sort of the topic today. And I wanted to reach out to everyone who's out there watching. Just wanted to give you a shout out. Let me know where you're from, and let me know what it's like where you are, what's going on in your neck of the woods, and how things are going. So just reaching out to a couple of people. I see Barb in Illinois. Hey, finally back. Welcome back, Barb. Awesome. Great to see you. Love having you here. Thanks for joining again. And hey, Jane, love seeing you all the way from nice, sunny, warm Florida. I'm quite jealous being in northern New Jersey. Still a bit brisk, although I've got to admit it's not as cold as it normally is. It's actually rather, I don't want to call it temperate, but mid 40s is not bad for January. So we're actually doing all right here. And Gloria, how you doing, Gloria? Great seeing you. So love seeing everybody here so far. And I know there's so many others that are out there as well. So I just wanted to sort of touch base with you as well. So going back to our theme for today, I wanted to really just dive into one of the many ways we can connect with spirit, one of the many ways that we can really elevate our development so that we can connect to spirits, that we can understand what they're trying to tell us. What is it that they're trying to allow their experience with us? Um, and our gal from California loves having you here. West Coast must be still, what is it, 2:30 out there. So you're about 3 hours behind, but it's whereabouts in California? North, south, east, west? Love to find out. But just as far as our understanding with spirit, what we're doing is understanding what spirit is trying to communicate to us, right? So, how are the ways that we can communicate? We can communicate verbally with our mouths, right? But since spirit can't really do that, they've got to work with our other senses. Now, they can try to connect with our physical senses, but that's really rare. Not many people are going to get that communication. So, what they're going to be able to do is connect with us on a non physical level because they're in a non physical vibration state. So, all of the communication we get is from a non physical state. It's all a vibration state that's so high, we get it in a non physical sense. So, like our imaginations or our thoughts or our feelings or our visions as we see them in our mind's eye, or things that we hear in our mind's ear, clairaudience, what we're going to talk about today, or smells or tastes that we can. It's all through the mind. It's all through our consciousness. And as we raise our consciousness, we're beginning to get more aware of all these non-physical senses that we pick up. That's where you get the quote-unquote psychic senses, those 7 primary psychic senses, the non-physical senses, where you really begin to connect with spirit as they're trying to connect with you, right? So it's all about that. So today, what we're going to be doing is really focusing on our non-physical senses that really connects to our hearing, our non-physical hearing. You know how sometimes you'll hear yourself think, right? Or you'll hear your internal voice. It's exactly like that, but we'll go over the difference. So first off, I just wanted to kind of give you a description of who I am for some of those who might be new, and just a reminder for those people who are sort of regular watchers, which is great. As you know, my name is Chris Lippincott. I'm an international spiritual medium. I'm a best-selling author. I'm also a spiritual teacher. teach mediumship, I teach spirituality, and that's really where my passion lies, is teaching and helping other people to know that spirit is out there, helping other people know that we can connect, because everybody can connect. And that's it's not the myth that, oh, you got to be born with it, and if you don't have it when you're born, well, then forget it. Everybody can learn. It's all back here. It's all a psychic sense that has just gone dormant. So that's who I am. And like I mentioned today, what we're really focusing on is clairaudience. It's all about that psychic sense that's based on hearing. It's psychic hearing in our mind. It's all about how we can learn to discern information using spirit's conversation. So, what is the difference between our imagination or our thought, where we are thinking, okay, gosh, I can hear my mind, I can hear my own thoughts, I can hear what it is that I'm thinking, and how is that voice different than spirit's voice, which is a very normal, logical question that everybody wonders, right? So the difference is that with spirit, the audience, the hearing, the sounds that you're going to receive from spirit is so subtle, so hidden practically, that it's going to be something that you're going to pass over. You may just completely ignore it. It's kind of like that sixth sense, that gut sense when you get that feeling, you're like, gee, I think I should be doing this, but it's such a random back of the mind thought. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to ignore it. You don't pay any attention to it, right? It's that subtle. Sometimes you'll get a sense, and it just doesn't really seem to be so important. So you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to ignore that. That's how subtle it is. You really have to be paying attention. Lay strike that. You have to actually be aware, more aware, and paying attention to the fact that, hey, there is something else out there. Because the one thing you don't want is, you don't want your conscious mind involved. That is why I sort of paused, because you don't want your conscious mind. You just have to be aware that spirit's connecting with you. If you're increasing your awareness, you're increasing the awareness that there is a subtle sound going on in your mind. That's spirit. Also, the difference would be spirit's conversations in your mind will be very not only subtle, but they're also going to be filled with love, compassion, peace, calm, relaxing. It's going to be very relaxing. It's going to be a very soft communication. If you get a rather jarring or annoying or perhaps a rather demanding sounding voice or sound, then that's going to be your ego mind, right? How many times do we go to ourselves and we say, oh, I should have done this, or oh, I should have done that, or should I be doing this, or what can I be doing better with my life, or that kind of thought. That's your ego mind, right? And that's very different. And you'll notice the sound, the tone, the tonalities is very different between your own ego mind and the soft, subtle mind communication that's coming in from spirit. So that's really the difference between the two sounds that you're going to be picking up. The hearing, when you hear these two sounds, whether that's through spirit, your guides, your angels, whoever it is, the tonality is very, very different, very subtle. So that being explained, that's what clairaudience is, right? And there are a number of different exercises that we can go through to connect with our clairaudience. And of course, one of the most important things that we can be doing is just sitting in meditation. So today, what I wanted to do again is just to sit very briefly in meditation, get you into that flow state, so that when we start doing some of these exercises, you're going to be in a state that's much more aware, much more primed, if you will, to start working with these exercises. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a track of music, same track of music, my favorite track of music, right, by Todd Norian, Bija. I'm going to play that track for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the exercises. All right? Sound cool? Oh, good. Oh, Gloria's in Jersey City. Hey, we're neighbors, aren't we, Gloria? So, let me just begin this track here, and I want you to tell me if you guys can hear the track. I just started it. And if this is something that is loud or if it's too loud versus my own voice. How is it versus my own voice? Can you hear it? I know there's a little bit of a lag. But let me know how it compares to my voice. I'm going to assume by your lack of saying there's a problem, I'm going to presume that the sound of the music is okay. And I'm just going to continue. So, I invite you to close your eyes and just begin to focus on your breath. Focus on the inhalation and focus on the exhalation. Welcome back. So that was the great meditation that I always love with the same music that I always love. So I hope you enjoyed that little meditation. So now I wanted to get into the exercises that we can do to improve our clairaudience, to improve our awareness of what spirit is really going to be connecting with us. And there's really a great series of exercises that you can take home and do these by yourself. But we'll do them today. Here is just a list of things that you can do. For example, what we're going to do today. We did the meditation. You can imagine a steam train and the sound of a steam train, for example. You can think of the sound of a baby crying. You can also listen to chopsticks in your mind. How does chopsticks sound when you're thinking in your mind? What does that sound like to you? Maybe you think about a chainsaw, whether it's a chainsaw cutting down a tree or cutting some wood. What does a chainsaw sound to you, right? How about rain? Maybe rain on a hot tin roof, right? What does rain sound like when it's on a tin roof? Perhaps the wind, maybe wind blowing across a winter field, right? There's snow all over the place. How does that sound? And what about the slow drips of water into a deep well when there's water all the way down the bottom, and you hear that echo, that bloop, and it just echoes. So those are some of the things that we're going to be focusing on today. So again, just get comfortable and let's start practicing some of these exercises, and we can get right into it. So again, think of in your mind a steam train. You know how a steam train comes pulling slowly into a station. You can hear the chug, chug, chug. You can hear the whistle maybe. And as it slows down, you can hear the screeching of the brakes. You can hear the buffers and the metal, the buffers crashing into each other. Maybe you can hear the screeching of the metal wheels on the rails. So imagine in your mind's in your mind's ear, what does it sound like when a steam train pulls into a station? Maybe you hear the little bell, ding, 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 ding. Maybe you hear the water in the giant tank sloshing back and forth. Maybe that was the sound you heard as you heard a steam train coming in, as it was chugging in, chug, 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 right? Just imagine all these different sounds. Get as descriptive as you possibly can with your imagination, right? All the different sounds you could possibly think of. What do you associate with a steam train when a steam train pulls in? How about when a steam train pulls out? Maybe there's a whistle pulls out, and you can hear the different sounds of a steam train as it pulls out. Many of these experiences and sounds may be specific to you, how you experience a steam engine. So what does this mean to you, right? And you may hear different things to other people. It's all unique to you. So another great thing is in your mind's eye, another exercise you can work with is a baby. What does a baby sound like? Maybe a baby when it's crying. What does a baby sound like when it's crying? What does a baby sound like when it's giggling or laughing, right? What does a baby sound like when it's cooing? Man, it's just in ecstasy, right? Just having a wonderful time. It's like goo goo gag, all these sounds that a baby can make. Start envisioning in your ear. What do you hear in your mind, right? What are you hearing? All these sounds. Again, it's an exercise. And the more you think about what sound you can hear in your mind, this is opening your awareness to how you can begin to perceive the sounds that you're generating in your mind, because that's what's going to start coming through spirit. Spirit's going to use the sounds in your mind like a files, right? Like maybe it's a floppy disk. Think of it as a floppy disk or a paper file in a filing cabinet. They'll take out your experiences and they'll plug it into your computer and they'll say, okay, we're going to make you play this sound. What does that mean to you? Everybody's got a different association, right? That's how they communicate. Another exercise you can do, imagine yourself sitting and maybe you're playing chopsticks, maybe somebody else is playing chopsticks, ding 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 ding. Maybe it's several people doing that. Just imagine chopsticks getting played on the piano in your mind. What does it sound like? Maybe imagine somebody on a piano playing the keys. They're playing the keys up and they're playing the keys down, and they're playing the keys up and they're playing the keys down. They're just practicing their keys, right? They're playing up, goes all the way up and all the way down, right? Same thing. Maybe you want to do that with the violin. Do that sound with the violin. Somebody's playing the scales, right? They're just going all the way up, to one scale, all the way back down another scale. You do that with the violin. That's an idea. Perhaps you can do this. We talked about a chainsaw. Imagine in your mind, if you will, a chainsaw. What does a chainsaw, first off, sound like? It's just maybe it's sitting there, it's rumbling, right? What is the sound of a chainsaw just sitting there? And then all of a sudden, you put on the gas, and maybe you want to cut wood. Maybe you're cutting a tree. What does the sound of a chainsaw sound like when it's cutting a tree? Maybe it's got different sounds. Maybe there's a different sound between cutting a tree and a sound when it's cutting wood. What does it sound like to you? You tell me, right? And they're all different kind of sounds. And the same vein, the same kind of motor. How about a motorcycle? It's got the same sound. I mean, a motorcycle in your mind's eye could be like revving. What does that sound like to you, right? Just start to think, what are these sounds all like? Another one could be rain, right? We were talking about that earlier. Rain as it starts to fall on a tin roof, right? Those metal roof, those rigid metal roof, and you start to hear the pitter patter of rain as it starts to hit the these metal roofs. What does it sound like to you? Maybe it starts slowly, then it builds up, and then it really starts to pour, and you're just hearing that. How about the sound of rain as it's coming off a tin roof? And it's starting to hit those gutters, right? What does it sound like when it hits the gutters? How about sound of rain when it's falling on a bamboo roof? There's a new one for you. How about rain on a bamboo roof? Totally different. What does that sound like to you? Think about that. Stretch your mind. What does rain sound like in different sounds? Maybe rain on a pond, right? Or how about a thunderstorm? Think about a thunderstorm. What are you hearing the winds? Are you hearing the thunder, the clap of the thunder? Are you hearing the rain pouring? How about it's like a really torrential rain, right? Just imagine all the different sounds. Your mind knows already. You can create the sounds. You can pull it out of your imagination because you've already experienced it previously. That's what Spirit's using, right? How about also when you're thinking about sounds, wind? We were talking about wind a little bit. How about wind just blowing across a field? Maybe it's the middle of wintertime, right? And there's snow all over the field. How does that sound of the wind blowing across an empty, snowy field sound like? Right? Maybe it sounds different in summertime on that same field, same open field, but you've got a different sound. Maybe it's blowing, and it's just maybe there's just a little bit different sound as it's hitting the grass as opposed to hitting deep, thick snow, right? Or maybe you're hearing wind in a forest. What does wind in a forest sound like to you? Start thinking about this, right? Different winds in different places, different times, different areas. Another thing could be when you start to hear drips of water. It could be anywhere. Drips of water in the first off in the well that we were talking about. Let's start thinking about what is drips of water in a well sound like. A deep well, you got a little pool of water at the bottom of the well, and you've got this occasional drip goes all the way down, hits the pool of water, and then it echoes and it comes back up. Imagine that sound for a moment. Or maybe there's the absolutely painful sound of a slow drip in your sink, right? You just boop, I can't even make the sound, right? But I think you know what I mean. We're like, a slow leak somewhere, slow leak in your sink, slow leak in a pipe. Just imagine a slow leak where very slow, every so often, every 30 seconds to a minute, you start hearing this little drop of water. And you're like, I got to go fix the leak because it's driving me crazy. Chinese water torture, right? Same thing. So just imagine these sounds, okay? It can just go on forever. And the great part about this is that you can not only do this yourself, but the number of sounds that you can come up with to practice are unlimited. Um, Imagine the sound of winds going through the leaves. Imagine the sound of a lawnmower. Imagine the sound of a car horn. I mean, you can just think of it, like I said, it's unlimited. So really start to focus on those. And the more you work with those sounds, you're practicing your clairaudience muscles, because what you're doing is you're practicing your hearing through your mind's hearing. Last week we talked about your mind seeing, clairvoyance, right? What you see in your mind. Now what we're talking about is what you hear in your mind. And you can generate what you see in your mind. You can generate what you hear in your mind as practice. But when we're actually sitting and trying to connect with spirit, we're not creating anything. We're not doing anything. In fact, we're doing just the opposite. We're surrendering completely. We are allowing spirit to give us whatever information they want to give us, however they want to give us that information. And we are trusting completely all the information they give us. So that's where the phrase trust and surrender comes from. First off, you have to know and be trusting that spirit's right. You got to be trusting that spirit's going to be giving you the right information, that spirit's going to be there for love and healing, and that spirit is going to be there to give you information that makes sense to everybody involved. Maybe you're trying to give a reading to a recipient for some form of healing. Maybe that's something that you're trying to do, and you're trying to pass on messages, perhaps, pass on information. Spirit's going to give you that information. They're very intelligent. So trust in Spirit's information and surrender to what they're giving you. Surrender to the process. They know what they're doing. And as you surrender, you trust and surrender, allow them to give you all this information. And as you're allowing them to give you all this great information, this is something that's really going to help you move forward. And Gloria is saying, so eyes closed and just imagining sounds in mind during meditation. Yeah, you don't even need to do these sounds in meditation. You can just stare off in the distance. Maybe some people might like to do it with their eyes closed because then they can combine both the sounds as well as the visual aspect. So you're combining clairaudience and clairvoyant exercises simultaneously. So if I was to say, imagine a steam train coming into the station, you could hear it, the exercise that we just did, but you could also imagine it, right? That's clairvoyance. So you're practicing both sets of muscles at the same time. How about that for a combination exercise, right? So take this back to you, and back and practice on it. So you can either do it with your eyes closed, you can do it with your eyes open. It doesn't even have to be in a meditation. As far as meditation itself is concerned, which is a little different topic, you can do meditation with your eyes closed usually, because when you do meditation with your eyes closed, you are taking yourself far away from your everyday world. And that's really the place where you want to be. You want to be outside of your physical existence, because that's going to calm you down. That's going to be something that's going to really help you relax, get away. It's like a vacation from yourself. That's the idea. Think of meditation as being a stress relief, being a vacation from yourself, being a vacation from the everyday. And it's like the old saying, Calgon, take me away, right? And when you say that, you close your eyes, right? When you're imagining something, you're like, oh yeah, I can really imagine that, right? Most people close their eyes because it's easier and they like it and it's more comfortable. So it's really pretty much your own personal preference, but my suggestion would be you might find it easier to do it with your eyes closed. Try it both ways and see which way you prefer it. If you prefer it with your eyes open, then again that's a personal preference. But like I said, most people find that they have greater efficacy with their eyes closed. I hope that kind of answers your question, Gloria. But I think that's what you were asking about specifically during meditation. I'd love to answer any more of your questions. If you've got other questions about either a clairaudience or anything else for that matter, love answering your questions. And it's really something about with spirit, like I mentioned, it's all about allowing, it's all about inviting, it's all about being of service. So when we're connecting with spirit, we're trying to be of service, for spirit, for ourselves, for other people. Because when we begin to work for other people and for spirit, that's the ultimate definition of service, right? Yeah, Gloria's glad you like that Calgon idea. But yeah, it's working with spirit is all about service, because when we try to connect with spirit, it's all about being of service to spirit, right? So, what else can I offer you? That if you do these practices, if you do these little exercises on a repeated basis, you do last week's exercises of clairvoyance, which we really walked through, and you do this week's exercises of clairaudience, and you do it on a regular basis, right? Because the more you do it, it's like going to the gym. The more you exercise, the better, more fit you're going to be, right? The stronger you're going to be. You're going to build those muscles, whatever muscle group it is that you're working out. And it's the same thing. Here we're working out clairvoyant muscles. Last week we worked out our clairvoyant muscles. This week is clairaudience. So it's like each week you do something different. So long as you're practicing, so long as you're doing some kind of practice, you're sitting in the power like we did, today, and sitting in the power last week as well. So long as you're meditating, just 5-10 minutes, nothing, right? That's nothing. 5-10 minutes, do it every day, every other day. Try to do it on a regular basis. Most people find meditation just very relaxing, and don't stress out and say, oh, I can't do meditation because, oh gosh, my mind is going a mile a minute and I have to achieve this. No, that's the whole point. You don't have to achieve anything. The only thing you want to achieve is relaxation. Enjoy it. Don't say, oh, I've got to have total silence. You don't have to have total silence. We're human. We're still conscious. So if you got if you got ideas going back and forth in your mind, as long as you're relaxed, that's cool. You don't have to worry about your thoughts going back and forth. Obviously, it's better to focus and try to keep your ideas focused and your mind focused to something where you're really just concentrating on perhaps the specific idea, like breathing or grounding or a mantra or visualization of some kind. Those are very good techniques, but the concept is they help you to stay focused. You don't have to be, but it's beneficial. And again, it's all about relaxing. First learn how to relax, then learn how to move on and to begin to move outside yourself. That's the whole concept. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. I would love to find out. I'd love to help out. So I think we're basically done for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, if you find that there is anything on these weekly sessions that we've got, let me know. Let me know if that you enjoy something. If there's some topic that you want to discuss, if there's something that you want to cover, let me know. Drop it in the comments below. And that's always something that's beneficial, and we'll cover it next week. And I'm always trying to get more feedback from you, because you're the audience, you're the main source this is all for. You're the people I'm trying to help, right? So I think we're going to end it today. So one of the things I always say is, if you want to get in contact with me for some reason, I'm always looking at my inbox all the time. If you want to get in contact with me, just email me at chris@montclairmedium.com. That's my email address, right? So if you have any questions or thoughts, or you want to ask me about something, maybe add some more content, let me know. You can do that. And also, if you're finding there's value in what I'm giving you, by all means, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know, because the more that you're subscribing, the more I'll know that that's something that you're finding value in. Also, it's like an alert, right? It's like any time that you have something that you're subscribed to, there'll be an automatic alert that goes to you. So definitely subscribe, give me a thumbs up, let me know what's going on, right? So that is something that I love watching. Oh, and Gloria, thank you for your comment. Perhaps voice could be a bit louder than the sound. Yeah, I was trying to get that balance. Although I think KJ had said there was a good balance, so I don't know. I don't know how to work that balance. Maybe the only other way I can do it is perhaps do a pre-recorded session. Although I don't know if you'd like that. I think you kind of like the live, but it is what it is. So with that, I'm gonna sign off, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart again, and love seeing you all, guys. Love seeing you here every week, and I'll see you next week. So until next time, this is Chris. Love and light.